These are 50-ish board games from my collection. Welcome back to After Evenfall. My name is Bailey, and today we are going to go kind of rapid fire through 50 different games in my collection. So originally, I was going to have one big collection video where I was going to go through all of them in one go. I took my camera upstairs, I tried to film it, and you guys, my camera, because we have about 3 feet of snow outside right now, it was overexposed and I couldn't get the film footage correct, and we also have some higher ceilings upstairs, so it was really echoey. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm breaking it down into 4 separate mini videos, each with about 50-ish games in them, and I'm just going to go through them rapid fire and show them to you. And I'm planning on uploading these every Friday for the next 4 weeks or so. Mainly because I didn't want to bring all 200 and something games downstairs and just have them take up my whole room. Right now, I know you guys can't see it. They're all over my floor. So hopefully this will work for you guys. But I was also gonna say that my taste in board games is a little bit like my taste in music. It's kind of all over the place. I've got some kids games, I have some party games, I have some strategy games, so you're gonna see a little bit of everything, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am, because I always love going through my board games. All right, so, how am I gonna do this? So I'm gonna have to pause every once in a while to kind of go around and pick up the games off the floor and bring them onto my table. It's kind of a mess. You probably can, yeah, that gives it all away. Okay, so as I'm going through these games, I want to also let you guys know what's on my shelf of shame and what's not. At least 50% of the games that I have are on my shelf of shame, so it's going to be a lot. But we're going to go ahead and get started. We have Skull King. This copy has never been played in our house. I actually just recently opened it, but we've played Skull King a few times at like friends' houses and things like that. It's a trick-taking card game. That's Skull King. Sounds Fishy. So this one is a recent addition. I just got this on Monday because I realized that we didn't have any party games. So that is Sounds Fishy, party game. It is on my shelf of shame. I'm hoping to bust this out tonight when we have ladies' night. So, Sounds Fishy. Next game is also a party game that I got this weekend, and that is Green Team Wins. Another one that I'm hoping I can break out tonight. We'll see if we get around to it. Shelf of Shame. Okay, my next game is, this is going to be so fast, you guys. My next game is Star Realms. This is a small deck building game and battling game. Star Realms. And also, heads up, I'm not going to be putting any of the names in tabbies just because this is going to be so fast. And I do plan on going through and reviewing all of these games in more depth in the future in my Board Game Bite segments. So I will save the big reviews until then. I'm just going to do really fast. My next 2 games you guys have already seen, and this time I will put it out upright, and that is Mountain Goats. I've gone over it. You guys can take a look at the video if you want to see more about it. Now we have Dandelions. Same goes. You can watch the video. I think it's Board Game Bites number, or no, it's my small box games video. 8 small box games. Dandelions. Okay. Those 2 are not on my shelf of shame. This one, however, is, and that is Railroad Inc., the blue edition. Bought it forever ago because I heard you could play it solo. It's been on my shelf of shame ever since. It's a roll and write, or a roll and draw, kind of. Railroad Inc. I don't even know where I'm going to put all of these as I'm going through them. It's going to be a mess. This one, I'm going to count them as one game, even though we have both copies. And that is Ice Cool. We've got both of them. Dexterity games, you're flicking penguins, you're trying to get fish out through the doorways, and that is Ice Cool. My next game is in shrink wrap, and it has been in shrink wrap for 7 years. We got it when we got married, and we have never opened it. And like I said, these games are all over the place. This one's an old game, classic. Twister, everyone knows what Twister is. I'm not going to go into it. Twister. Okay, my next game. This game has had a ton of gameplay in our house. We played this like 5 games a day every weekend for like a year with our friends. And that is Star Wars Epic Duels game. It's an old game. I wish it would come back into reprint. Star Wars Epic Duels. It's been kind of beat up. Yep. That is going to topple over. All right. Woo. Next game. This is a children's game. It's very old. I used to play it at my great-grandma's house when I was like 5 years old. And I just had to buy myself a copy for the nostalgia of it. And that is Enchanted Forest. You're going around. You're looking at the bottom of the trees. You're trying to remember where all of the symbols are. Enchanted Forest. My next game, everyone has to have a copy of. Doesn't mean that I've played it. I am guilty of not playing it at all since it's come into our house, but that is Monopoly Animal Crossing Edition, only because I love Animal Crossing. Everyone knows how to play Monopoly. That's Monopoly. Now I've got to pull all these. Okay, now we got to take a pause. I got to go get some more games because that was everything on my table. Okay, my next game is one that everyone has seen. I've already talked about it. It's on my top 10 list, and that is Heat Pedal to the Metal. It's a racing game. It's the closest board game I've ever played to actually racing a car. That is Heat Pedal to the Metal. Okay, next game is a Shelf of Shame game. I have not played it. My husband has. And that is from Target. Throw Burrito. I can't say anything about it. I know nothing about it, but it's on our shelves. And then our next game is Star Wars Villainous. This is the only Villainous we own, mainly because my husband likes Star Wars. I am not actually super into like the villains of Disney. I don't know. I'm not super into it, so we haven't played a ton of this game. But that is Villainous. Next game is Winter Queen. This one is on our Shelf of Shame. I can't say much about it. Hopefully we'll get around to it. You guys can probably still see that over in the corner. Okay. This other game we played once forever ago at a cabin when we went with our friends when we were in college. And it's a quirky, fun game, party game, Hilarium. It's like a charades matching game, kind of similar to Happy Salmon, but with more interaction and more options available. Hilarium. Next game is Sushi Roll. Sushi Roll is on my Shelf of Shame. We've played Sushi Go. I haven't played this one yet. Hopefully it's similar. Sushi Roll. All right, the next game is one that everyone, I'm sure, everyone and their mother has played, and that is Apples to Apples. This is the small box. When we were growing up, we had one that was like twice the size. Apples to Apples. It's a party game. This next game, I hesitate to give my opinion on at all remotely because I think it will be better said in a review video, and that is Reef. It's an abstract game where you're building up a coral reef to score points based off of like certain matching objectives, and that is Reef. My next game is a gateway game that I'm pretty sure most people are familiar with at this point. If you're not, you should play it at least once. It's a fun game. That is Azul. This is another abstract game where you're drafting tiles, putting them on your board, and then sliding them over to score points, whether they're in rows or columns. Azul. Okay, now to get more board games. How many games can we go through? Okay, all right, so next game, really fast, is one that I just learned the other day. I've only played it solo, and that is Floriferous. It's a very beautiful game. Floriferous. Another one, this is on my Shelf of Shame. Happy Little Dinosaurs. Haven't played it, super cute. Love the idea of the theme. I do not have a great history with unstable games. I'm not their biggest fan, but I'm really interested in this game. Happy Little Dinosaurs. Okay. Buried Treasure. Super light game. Lighter than Uno. We've played it with people. It's fun. It's Buried Treasure. Simple. There you go. Okay, next game. I'm sorry, I'm like out of breath. I don't know why I'm rushing through this so much, but I am. I do know why. I have to clean my whole house today because I got people coming over tonight. All right. Okay. Next game. Catan Jr. It's great when we have little kids over. Catan Jr. This next game is a Shelf of Shame game. I've heard that it's pretty fun in comparison to the big board game. This is another little kid one. Oh man, it's got a lot of components in it. My Little Scythe, Shelf of Shame, haven't played it, but I'm interested. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. To my next game. Based off of my favorite franchise, I haven't played this copy either. Another Shelf of Shame game. My Lil Everdell. My Lil I can't say that. My Lil Everdell. Okay, next game is Trekking the National Parks. If you guys have played Ticket to Ride, it's pretty much Ticket to Ride. Very little differences. Trekking the National Parks. Okay. This is another groupish game. And, oh, my box is torn. Oh, okay, sorry. Stella. Beautiful game. Very fun. Stella. It's a Dixit universe, too. It's a Dixit game. I think that they just came out with a Disney version of Dixit, too. This next game we picked up at Disneyland just because it looked cute, and that is, it's a Small World, definitely a kid's game. It's a Small World. All right, the next game, another Shelf of Shame one. Man, are they all like Shelf of Shame ones today? I don't know. Okay, next game is Battle Bears. I actually have never played I bought this game, and I didn't realize that there was an actual app associated with the regular game. It's like a video game. Battle Bears. It's a battling game. I haven't played it. Shelf of Shame. Hopefully soon. Okay, now to another round of picking up board games. Yo, the weight of these games is like making my table start to bubble. Oh no. Sorry. Guys, I have had a long week. I'm so tired. And before anyone asks, yes, I am wearing jammy pants. And that's just because 90% of the time in my videos, I'm probably wearing PJ pants. They're comfy, and it's cold down here. Okay, my next game is a staple for almost everyone. It was my gateway game, and that is Settlers of Catan, which in our house, I know everyone calls it Catan or Catan. We've always called it Settlers. It's just Settlers. That's what it is. And now it's just Catan. And I also own the Traders and Barbarians expansion. And I highly recommend getting the 5 to 6 player expansion. It makes the game a million times better. That is Settlers of Catan. The next game I originally saw on another board gaming channel, and I bought it off of there, or I bought it because they recommended it, and that is Overboss. We've really enjoyed this one. It's a tile placement game, and it's very fun. Overboss. Okay, this next game, I'm the only person in this household that enjoys it, but I love it a lot, and that is Libertalia. In this game, you are like a pirate, and you've got your crew that you're running, and some of them are dying, and some of them are going off to islands to get goods, and you're trying to get certain things. I get into it some other day. That is Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest. Okay, next game. This is a game and all of its expansions, and then I think one of them is a standalone addition to the game as well. It's not all of the expansions, but it's all of the expansions that were out at the time that we bought the game. And that is Small World, Small World Underground. I should probably position these so you guys see them. Small World River Worlds, and Small World Sky Islands. And that's Small World. Okay, you guys, I'm down to like 2 stacks left. So, these ones I'm just going to slide over and just pull them up from here. But the next game is Sushi Go Party. I love this game. No one else will play it with me. Sushi Go Party. Alright, so the next game is a base game with expansions as well, and I've never actually played the game at all. It's on my shelf of shame, and yes, I bought the expansions, but it's Disney's Epic Sorcerer Arena, and then I also have the Turning the Tide expansion and the Leading the Charge expansion. Next game is a kids game. It's been a big hit with all of our family and stuff, and that is SOS Dino. This is a co-op game where you're trying to go around the map and collect all of the eggs and get your dinosaurs back to their nest before the volcanoes explode and lava gets everywhere and kills everyone. SOS Dino. Okay, so this next game is actually 3 games in one. I 3D printed storage so that everything would fit in one box. But that is Century Golem Edition, and then there's also Century Eastern Mountains and Century Endless World in the same box. This one has gotten a ton of gameplay in our house. That is Century Golem Edition. Next game is another staple for households, and that is Splendor. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard a ton about it. I'm not really going to go into a ton. Splendor. And then the last game out of this stack is Sagrada. It is a dice drafting abstract game where you're placing dice on a stained glass window to try to build it out and get points from it. Sagrada. This is going to be like the most cringe video I've made. Okay, last stack. This is a kid's game, but it's actually really fun with adults. It's kind of a dexterity game. Pretty fun. Bermuda Pirates. You're going around, you're trying to collect gems from the island and bring them back, but there are these magnetic spots that make your ship tip and throw everything across the entire board that you've collected, and then other people can go get it. Bermuda Pirates. This game was probably like one of my favorite games growing up. It's another one that I'm sure everyone's heard of, but I will never stop loving it, and that is Rummy Cube. In this game, you're drafting tiles, you're putting them out in numerical sequences or in groups or in colors, things like that, to try to get points and try to put all your tiles out first, and that is Rummy Cube. Not get points. You're just trying to get rid of your tiles, right? Right? Next game is one that I got my husband for Christmas, and we've played a few times now, and that is Downforce. The bigger the group, the better the fun for this game. It's a racing game, but mostly a betting game, and that is Downforce. You guys are probably just going to have to live with seeing some of the edges of the games over here because I don't have any more room to put them. Okay, this is a kids game. Most of the kids that have played it in our house have really liked it, and that is The Quest Kids. It's an early dungeon crawler, very rudimentary, and very much for kids around the age of 5 and up. The Quest Kids. Alright, so my next game is by the same guy who designed Seven Wonders Duel and Draftosaurus, Antoine Baza, and that is Tokaido. Highly recommend this game. I really like this one. Tokaido. It's kind of Parks adjacent. It's very similar mechanisms to Parks. Okay. Next game. This one I've talked about before in my most recent video. That is Dominion. This was my gateway into deck building games. It is a major deck builder. It's probably one of the ones that most people get into deck building games with, and that is Dominion. Okay, we have 2 left. And one of these games I hate. Like, so much. I hate this one, like, more than Skull King. Like, this one is very near the bottom of my list. Does not mean it's a bad game. I just hate it. And that is Ticket to Ride. If you're going to get Ticket to Ride, I love the German edition. The American edition, not so much my favorite. But it's Ticket to Ride. Everyone kind of is familiar with it. If you're not, I'll probably review it at some point on my channel. Ticket to Ride. And my last game is another Shelf of Shame game. I hate to say it. I think that most of these were Shelf of Shamers this video. But this is a racing game. A lot of people are familiar with it, and that is The Quest for El Dorado. And again, Shelf of Shame, so I haven't played it. I don't know much about it. I'll try to play it soon. alongside the rest of these games. Maybe we can get around to reviewing them soon, hopefully. And that is the quest for El Dorado. All right, everyone, so that has been 50-ish games. I'm trying not to include expansions in that number from my board game collection. And I am really excited to go through all of them and review them in the long run. You guys have no idea how motivating this channel is to get me to want to play board games more often and really, really dive into them. I want to so badly, and it's so hard to admit that I've got these on my shelf of shame, but I am a person who is more spurred on by the idea of shame than I am by opportunity. I know some people call it the shelf of opportunity. If that works for you, great, but I am definitely more pushed into doing things by shame. If it's embarrassing, I'll probably get around to it. Anyway, so that is 50 games on my board game collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. I know it was really, really fast, but it's still really fun to go through them all, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Let me know if you want to see more from my collection. I would love to share them with you, and I wanted to say thank you for joining me today. If you guys have any questions or suggestions on videos that you want to see, I would love to hear about it too. Don't hesitate to put that in the comments, and especially if there are any of these games that you really want to know about and you really want me to get to the table for a review, I would love to know what those are. Thank you again for joining me here After Evenfall. Every one of you means so much to me, and I'm so appreciative of all the support, and I hope to see you again in the After Evenfall community.